Hello and welcome to another episode of Casual Friday. I'm here with the Duck. As always, the show is brought to you by Woo. Links available in the description below. Magically, Don, you happen to recover from your mystery illness and absence from Twitter when the market is red. So is this some classic LARP behavior where you wait for the green candles to dissipate and for the red to return before you return to Twitter, or are there other forces at play here?
Nah, I mean, I don't even think people know that I was sick. So, yeah, I got quite severe case of sickness. So I was just kind of nuked, but the meds are working now, so I'm all good.
Is your
Well, like not
marathon
all good.
fucked? Because you were prepping for that, I remember.
Yeah, everything's
That
fucked.
sucks.
The whole rest of the year is fucked, but it's okay. It's not nothing terrible. It's just very unpleasant. But yeah, basically nuked my plans for both the what's it called, the thing that you go to after a wedding.
Honeymoon?
Thank you, honeymoon,
Nice.
and one other trip, both nuked. But it is what it is. You can't have everything, and I mean, I'm having success in the market, but the health has been nuking. So
That
we
sucks,
gotta
man. Well,
have
I'm glad you're on the mend, at least. And
yeah.
also, you've spoken about this before on Twitter, so if I'm not allowed to mention this, feel free to just tell me and we'll just fucking re-record the intro, whatever, YOLO. But your health is fucked up as a... I mean, your cancer is in, like, remission, right?
Yeah, no, I don't have any cancer things right now.
Perfect, even better. And so, but when you did, it was pretty bad and your immune system is completely fucked up, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's definitely weaker than it was before. And with that comes a few things that are just annoying. But yeah, no, the on the cancer front, I'm all good. Knock on wood,
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
Jesus.
But yeah, just some other health things that decided to show up. But it's like I said, it's not the
That's
end of the
good.
world.
So it wasn't the mysterious bear illness that got you.
No. And I mean, I don't know why it would disappear. Like the market moved exactly like I wanted it to at the end of the day. It just took a little bit longer.
Sure.
So like I'm all good on that front. And I'm also not going to disappear just because the market is not going my way. I've
Sure.
had that happen quite a bit over the last few years. But yeah, it's good to be back. I've been trading, even though I've been completely nuked, like an absolute idiot. But
Nice.
it's been going quite
But you
well.
haven't been tweeting, Don, so effectively you haven't been trading. That's how
Oh
that
yeah,
works, isn't it? Like, unless you handhold me through a position, then it doesn't exist.
yeah. I mean, I did talk about my positions with you, with Loomdart, with a few people on Twitter, but I was like, I'm really not in the mood. Like I'm
Fucking
already
loomed up.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already I'm already sick. So I might as well just not make it worse by spending my time on a miserable place, which Twitter has become
Yeah,
lately.
Twitter's like functionally unusable. I feel like this is going to be the classic two accounts bitching type of thing. But if you want like a snapshot, just go look at the average level of discourse, go look at what's generating engagement. And I mean, you could even go back and look at what your replies looked like. And again, look, even some part of that was self-inflicted, right? Because you were goading the bears and they were goading you and making memes, etc. But then that shit just spiraled out of control to the point where you couldn't even have like a normal conversation with anyone.
Yeah,
And everyone seems to want to become the main character, and they start becoming like they develop this fucking messiah complex as soon as they put on a swing trade. And try to, I don't know, build some mega brand cult following over it. It's just so weird, and it's got fuck all to do with trading, right?
yeah,
None of it has got anything to do with, oh, well, this is a good setup. This, where I think the risk reward is pretty reasonable. I'm taking this punt, whatever. These are my validations, and you know, if it doesn't move by X time frame, maybe I'm fucked. Who knows? I'm just gonna throw the idea out there. Now it's just about weird, I don't know, social media brigading. Meta discussions like influencer and sort of rapper pump and dumps and stuff like that. And overall, if you're actually looking for like trading content, it's really hard to come by.
yes,
And I know that when I use Twitter nowadays, I quite like writing. It's a nice outlet for me, and because my job is so brain dead, at least some of the time, and the amount of time I spend on Twitter like reading is way too high. I feel like I'm getting dumber, and writing has been a nice kind of remedy or outlet to that. Makes me use my brain a little bit. So I've enjoyed writing slightly longer form tweets and posts and whatever on any topics that I find interesting. But then as soon as I do that, I just mute conversation. And that's one way to make it usable, and also just avoiding direct market commentary is another one. I mean, I'll happily do it on Monday markets and stuff where there's a smaller, more curated audience. But tweeting out into the ether is it just hasn't been particularly productive for a while. You know, I don't think either of us are particularly try hard brand build this engagement following to leverage it into XYZ type of people.
Yeah, I couldn't give less of a fuck.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we have a show. Woo gives us some money for it. Thank you. That's fantastic. But you can even scroll through our feeds and see how much promotion has there been over the last year. I mean, maybe they'll fire us after this segment or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't think we give off like a try hard marketing, brand building type of energy. And so when you go onto Twitter and realize that the trading discourse isn't really there, and I think this cycle's participants are, I don't know. I don't want to use the term retarded, but there's just
the lowest IQ that we've ever had. Like, it's just how it is.
It's pretty bad. I think it's the, if I had to be slightly more charitable, it's the sort of intellectual stubbornness that they have is really, really high. So like the idea that they could be wrong is completely unpalatable and is a non-starter. And also the idea that there's anything valuable whatsoever to be learned from people who've been around for a while is also a complete non-starter. You just kind of hand wave away and say, fucking washed, loser, boomer, you missed X, therefore you don't know shit about Y. You know, that type of reasoning. I feel like it's more echo chambered and more cultish than before. Now it always kind of reverts because, I mean, the vast majority just get their assholes torn, right? And they just fuck off, and then the ones who stick around, they're like, oh shit, well, all of my priors were wrong, it seems. Let me see if there's something I can learn. So that kind of, you know, the tide essentially does a lot of the mending on that front. But at the moment, it's not fun at all. And for me, at least, I'm kind of similar to you in that what kind of pushed you over the edge wasn't the trolling per se. It was just the shitty level of discourse where it was like only trolling and low quality trolling. You can't even have a discussion or laugh in good faith. And
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say it was trolling. Like, it was just straight up people trying to be assholes. Like, because I can appreciate, like, there was people like doing memes and all that kind of stuff.
Those were good, right?
Like that crying duck
is so fucking funny.
hilarious. like I actually appreciate like people that go out of their way to actually make like a troll actually like good. I mean, that's just funny. That's kind of what we all grew up with on the internet. I think everyone should and could take that kind of like discourse, like people just troll you. I think that's funny. But when it goes to just like personal insults or just generally, like the one thing that pisses me off the most is basically when people make up shit and then present it as the truth. And we've had like a few bigger accounts on Twitter do this too. Like there's a bunch of kind of like just I don't know what I would call them, just basically like cloud chasing people that thrive off of just kind of like shit talking everyone, which is fair enough, right? If it's high level trolling, but at some point they've kind of lost the plot, in my opinion. And what I've seen is just like very low discourse, just kind of being idiots and with very little to show for it, right? Like very little, if none, no trading history, no nothing. And then I think at some point it just becomes useless. And so yeah, I basically just went from funny trolling to personal insults to making shit up about people that isn't true, which I just find like, how are you going to argue against something that just never happened / is just a gross misrepresentation of like everything? You cannot and you shouldn't. And then like, okay, like if people want to make shit up, fair enough. But I don't need to have that discussion with people that are basically, I don't know, feels like you're talking with like 16-year-old people that cannot argue at all. And yeah, that's why I've been mostly gone on Twitter, and I will like that will remain that way. I will come around and tweet from time to time. If the market nukes by quite a bit, I think that problem will fix itself because it's pretty clear like which side of the market are the assholes right now, as in like the people that really cannot have proper conversations, and it's the bullish side of things, which is fair enough. People have bags, whatever. But I think that would improve discourse by quite a bit. If it goes up, it's only going to get worse. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I don't really care too much.
Sure.
Like you said, like the whole brand building thing, I'm way beyond that. I'm doing it for fun, and when it's not fun, I will not show up. And it's the same. Like I would be like, hey, I'm sorry that I didn't show up for like whatever the last 2 weeks, but one, I was sick, and two, like I really couldn't care less when kind of like the mood of the whole social media thing is just shitty. I'm like, I know that it's not the fault of the listeners, right? Like our listeners on Technical Roundup are great.
Dude, I was just going to say, this shit makes me all the more grateful for Technical Roundup. It's like the one place where I feel like I can speak freely and not think, what is the least charitable, most cynical, bad faith interpretation of this thing I'm about to share, you know?
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be like political about things that you post, which is quite funny. No, I do appreciate like everyone that kind of watches, and like 99% of our viewers are really nice.
For sure.
It's just when you really don't feel it. I mean, I'm gonna make a shitty show, and I'm not gonna have fun doing it, even if everyone is nice. Just because I'm like, fuck social media. It's not necessarily something I do be outside of CT anyway. Like in real life, I couldn't care less about social media.
Yeah, Twitter is my only social media as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if I have fatigue of it, I will have fatigue of like streaming and whatever too.
Yeah.
But I'll try my best. Like I said, I'm feeling better health wise, so I might get back to the normal schedule of things next week.
Yeah, and even we got I got a comment on Monday Markets. One guy was like, even just hearing you guys chat, or you being me in this instance, chat for like 10-20 minutes in the background while doing something just serves like a nice, reliable placeholder in the day. And even stuff like that I'm very grateful for, like even this rambling part, as much as I love, and I have grown to love these memes of show starts at, and I'm sure we'll get a few when we do the chart stuff.
This one deserves it.
This one deserves it, but I feel like it plays an important, like people secretly, even if they don't admit it, enjoy this part where it just feels like, two friends just shooting the shit before doing the boring TA stuff. If here's a level here, here's a fucking candle close, who cares at the end of the day? Yeah. Shit is far less important. But yeah, Twitter's pretty bad. And also, I think part of what's exacerbating it is we're seeing some of the main character type figures reach kind of escape velocity. And that can be both positive and negative. It's sort of positive, at least for them, insofar as the sort of public recognition and the connections and the access, etc., are really high. But the downside is, that shit gets to your head, and then also, just like anything ever, the pendulum starts to turn and sentiment shifts as a whole. And the most recent fixation of this has been with regard to sort of celebrities and Solana. I gave in, Don. I made a sacrifice to the engagement gods and tweeted about it because I was just completely flabbergasted by the levels of mental gymnastics that people were going, the lengths they were going to defend this type of behavior. And it was one of those things that was reminiscent. Do you remember the altcoin discussion we had regarding these altcoins, meme coins are just another version of altcoins. You should assume, while they're hot, and then when they go to shit, and then something else comes along, right?
Yeah.
And the difficulty I had there, that I expressed in 50 different ways, repeating myself as I always do on this show, was that why the fuck do I sound like the insane person if this is just the status quo for 7+ years? Like, if anything, just the balance of evidence seems to suggest that you should assume what's been the case for 7+ years is at least likely, and then if you have really strong evidence to the contrary, you kind of adjust your priors and, I don't know, remodel your models, right? And I'm getting the same fucking feeling with these celebrity coins. Like, if you told me 12 months ago, for example, that people are going to be dying on the hill of celebrity coins are good, I would just find it completely shocking and untenable as a premise. I'd be like, well, what do you mean? Let's look back at every single instance of celebrity involvement in crypto. It's all fucking dog shit. We don't get any real celebrities building real projects or whatever else. Like, I guess the A/S tier ones, if they are investors in some big fund via a holding company and you never fucking hear about them, right? Or there's some sort of family office investing in their behalf or some shit like that. The celebrities that we get in crypto are the dog shit, washed up, broke ones who come in for a quick cash grab. And so the idea that people are then going out and defending them, to me, is really weird. And I don't know, I think it's like mid-curving it and trying too hard. And the arguments being made are so terrible. That's probably the part that offends me most. It's like, oh, well, this is like a means to onboarding or whatever else. And it's like, I had no idea that if you wanted to onboard people to crypto and you're someone with an audience, the only / best way to do that is to fucking launch a token that makes you rich immediately and then you fuck off. Like, how convenient is that, right? Like, out of all the sort of mechanisms that you have to share your love for crypto or to learn in public or to learn about the space, you choose the one thing that makes you rich immediately, and then what happens after, I guess we'll see. I mean, if that's what showing an interest is, or I don't know, converting your audience, or building in public, or learning in public, whatever the fuck, then it's just a bit too convenient for my liking, you know? I mean, you can ask questions, you can actually trade, invest like the rest of us, you can participate in CT, you can make some connections in the industry, and intuitively you should know that the thing that makes you rich immediately maybe isn't sort of adding the most long-term value or whatever else. There are so many fucking ways that if you're going to buy the premise, which I don't, that these people genuinely have an interest in crypto and they're just like being misled, and it's all about onboarding and it's all about how they enter crypto and who tells them what, then making a token is the fucking bottom of that list. There are 500 things you try before that, before you go and make a token that makes you rich. But it just so happens that because of some mental gymnastics whereby celebrities have a large following, if it's onboarded to crypto, is good, and therefore we should be sort of, I don't know, friendly to these celebrities, even if they have like a history of self-enriching pump and dumping. Kind of going down that, I don't know, logical rabbit hole is so bizarre to me. And it's one of those things that I never, it's so I think it's so self-evident that arguing against it is fucking absurd. But apparently not, because I think the tides have changed enough now. But I've seen enough threads about these fucking celebrity coins as being a means to onboarding or whatever else, where I don't know if I'm reading some sort of satirical piece anymore. I know that was very long and rambly, but fuck me, like how are we here, basically?
Yeah, I mean, it's absurd, like legit absurd. What we're seeing. But it is kind of like a cycle thing. We've had that last cycle too. Was the peak top of last cycle when we started onboarding like these shitty celebs, and people were actually like calling it great for the space as well. So I mean, it's what it is. But this time around, it's the most outrageous kind of way to do it, and I've seen the most kind of like just mental gymnastics about it. So it's kind of sad to see, because usually crypto kind of self-regulates itself in a way where people get shit talked. Like these celebrities immediately get shit talked, and now they're kind of like, there's a few characters, Ansem being the most famous one of them, that is just kind of like giving them an audience in the crypto space. Because when you think about it with the celebrity side of things, right? They don't really, like, their followers don't really have that much crypto. But when you have people like Ansem or whatever lending them credibility, and he says he doesn't, but I think when you retweet this kind of shit, you do, you kind of get the crypto people involved. And that's the reason why they're making money, and that's the reason why they're rugging, and that's the reason why like a bunch of people are losing money. And yeah, I don't know. I find it quite sad to see. But like I said, nothing surprises me in crypto anymore, in terms of grifts and in terms of what people do to kind of like get money or get recognition. There's pretty much no limits to to what people are willing to do for it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that type of maximally extractive, short-term rent-seeking behavior, but I'm surprised that we're the fucking ones carrying water for them. It's like, please fuck me, you know? It's like, what
it's like, what the fuck?
That is strange. And also, just purely from an ecosystem, crypto flows point of view, it's a bad bet, because these aren't the types, as we discussed before with all these fucking crazy Solana pre-sales, as you recall, these events are net extractive to the ecosystem as a whole, you know? That wealth doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't rotate, it doesn't trickle down, it doesn't multiply and create new wealth, it just fucking goes to the Lambo leadership. And, you know, straight to Coinbase or whatever, you know, the off-ramp, and straight into the Lambo leadership. So it's kind of worse for everyone if this stuff becomes commonplace, unfortunately, as it seems to be, and you know, we didn't do anything about it, essentially. With regard to the Ansem point, I mean, it depends how charitable you want to be, right? Like, I think the maximally charitable version is that he believes that these celebrities are, and I don't mean to put words in his mouth, so I could be wrong here, but my best understanding is that if you want to take a maximally charitable version of his view, it's that if done properly, celebrities who have a lot of sort of capital, and I think he said monetary capital, social capital, and like a, you know, like a fervent fan base or a close relationship with their fan base. Like, these are people with big reach and with an audience who'll do stuff if they ask them to do it. So if that were to if that were to be used for positive means, like showing people dApps or crypto tech, or showing them exposure to the crypto sector as a whole, crypto economics, Bitcoin, or having a fucking wallet on your phone, all that type of stuff, it can have a massive net positive multiplier effect and get that kind of retail participation that we've been hoping for so long, as well as mainstream adoption and so on and so forth. Maybe even get crypto apps building, not just for like DeFi degens, but like for day-to-day normal people, etc. And so there should be some sort of outreach, if you will, towards celebrities, so that we could achieve that goal, rather than at the moment that process being monopolized by sort of bad faith Web3 grift marketing scamming types who go out to these celebrities like, oh yeah, crypto, you can make this much money very quickly, launch a token, and the celebrity doesn't know what's going on, there's an information asymmetry, and voila, everyone gets fucked except the Web3 grift marketer, and then the celebrity gets some cash and is none the wiser. That's the maximally charitable version. The least charitable version is some version of the opposite of that, where it's I didn't think this is true either. I don't think either is true, but I think the least charitable version is that he sort of knows that with his current influence and trigger happy audience and sort of main character focus, that even if he does something as innocent as tweet at someone or retweet a project or retweet one of these celebrities who get into the space, and I use that phrase very very sparingly, that's going to potentiate their scam, essentially. Now, I didn't think either is true. I think the first one is too naive and the second one is too extreme. But the truth is, boringly, as always, because I'm European, somewhere in the middle there. But I do think at this point, I'd be very surprised if he weren't. I think he is aware that, or he must be aware, I think, that he has the most active, fervent, trigger-happy, largest sort of growing, newest retail-facing audience base in the entire market. And they really love aping into stuff. So anything, even as much as a sort of comment or a retweet or anything else, in their mind, whether it's a fair interpretation or not, will fucking act as an endorsement. So that at least should potentially make him a bit more guarded in who/what he engages with. I think there's just too much going on as far as reach and main character and engagement and the obsessive fan base to be like, oh well, I didn't tell you to fucking buy,
Yeah, I mean, to me, what it looks like, and I don't wanna be mean. While I don't know exactly the motivation, but it looks like Ansem just wants to get a leg up into real world celebrity status, and that's why he's doing it. Which, fair enough, if that's your goal. I don't really see a good reason why you'd want to hang out with these people. Like, every single person that I've seen launch a coin kind of seems like a loser. To me, like, I don't know why you would want to waste your time, but some people kind of value this more than other relationships. Like, you have a little bit of clout because you're hanging out with a person that's once, like 15 years ago, has been famous in real life. I don't know. But that's kind of how it looks like to me. Not a big fan of that personally, but like I said, if that's what you're into, fair enough. And maybe that's not the motivation, and I don't get the grand scheme of things, right? Like, there's a master plan of sorts, but at the end of the day, like these celebrity coins, right? It's not like there's any tech. It's not like there's any value to this at all, other than speculation. So kind of onboarding people, quote unquote, into these, it's literally just like the moment you run out of greater fools, like, people get dumped on, right? And the worst part about it is that these celebrities obviously dump while the thing goes up, like 99% of them anyway. So you extract money out of crypto to enrich people that used to be famous. And they are obviously not going to keep their money in crypto. Like, that's just not how it goes. These people needed to launch a grift in crypto. They have problems with money, right? Like, you cannot tell me that any other good reason. Like, if you're actually interested in crypto, just fucking do stuff in crypto. You don't need to launch a coin to understand crypto, or to, like, whatever, to do anything in crypto. You can just, like any other normal person, just actually do things in crypto, use crypto, try to learn things. But apparently that's not the new way. You have to launch a coin and then rug it, and then for some reason you start understanding. And to be fair, I mean, that's been the name of the game of this cycle. If you can just launch a coin like a meme and then it goes and you've rug it and you've made your money, like that's been the meta. So maybe that is understanding crypto, right? Maybe they understand crypto better than we do because they launch a coin and rug it.
That's a good point.
So
They get it, Don. It's our values that are dated.
Yeah.
Also, I can immediately hear a response being like, oh, well, you mentioned other altcoins and tech, but all of it is dog shit. And so meme coins, these celebrity launches aren't so different from altcoins. I don't think that's entirely fair. And that's at least based on two grounds. The first is the sort of both information and holder asymmetry in these things. Like, where's the liquidity come from? Who has a disproportionate amount of the supply? Was the, launch... to what extent was it sniped and bundled by the same wallet / the same people? I think that is hugely different between these celebrity coins and sort of normal altcoins. And the second one is lifespan and longevity. Dude, the turnaround on some of these fucking celebrity coins is within a couple of hours. They go through like a market cycle, the kind of market cycle where you don't come back from. And I just don't think it's fair to compare that with altcoins that have been around for years, even if performance-wise, like, okay, they don't beat BTC, but they're not going to make one person and their friends rich and fuck everyone else and go like down 99% or whatever in the space of an hour in some cases.
Yeah, it's wild. Honestly, like, I've missed a lot of it because that's the time where I've been off Twitter. But even just the limited stuff that I saw just kind of blows my mind. And that there's even like one person on crypto Twitter that thinks this is a good thing blows my mind even more. Like, we've been around long enough. This has been a thing for long enough. People should understand how this works, right? Like, grifters making money from people that are in crypto means money flows out of crypto into the real world where they can spend it on whatever the fuck they spend it on, stupid shit most of the time. And that is a net negative, right? Like, you're taking money out of crypto by promoting this garbage, right? And yeah, maybe you get to sell to your followers or to the people that you shielded to hire, but at the end of the day, you're the only one that you're really enriching is that person that launches that garbage, and you're taking that money that you're making from the crypto market, and it's a net negative. And I don't know why we're promoting this. I don't know why this is even a thing. I don't know why they're not going to jail, honestly. Zach is trying really hard, but
I think it'll catch up. I mean, Ethereum Max was the example that came to mind with Mayweather and Kardashian and all that shit. We're still seeing enforcement action on that front this year, and that was like an ICO, I think, or not far away from it. So this stuff takes a while, but yeah, in the short term, it's terrible. I guess the largest philosophical difference. And again, not to point out Ansem by name, it's just unfortunate that it happens to be the main character and main point of discussion when it comes to celebrities because they all fucking tweet at him. I disagree that on two main fundamental grounds. The first is that celebrities should be afforded good faith to any extent. Or sort of a charitable interpretation of their intentions. I don't think they're as naive to be like, oh, there's this just, it's Sahil or whatever, some Web3 guy just tricked them. They actually had good intentions. I'm not convinced that on average that's true or like a baseline good assumption to have.
I don't think that can ever be the case. Many people. It
just seems like very fucking unlikely, dude.
Yeah, that's such a reach.
Yeah, I just don't think it's supported by evidence. And the second premise would be that if you sort of think about these celebrity coins, I wonder to what extent would these celebrities want to learn if you didn't market crypto to them as a way to get a quick payday, basically. So like, to what extent does their so-called interest in crypto wane if you tell them, hey, you're not guaranteed to make any money off this? I think the vast fucking majority of them will evaporate.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that, in the long term or tech or speculation. I just mean that when these Web3 guys come to them and say, you just fucking send out a tweet and I'll give you like a few $100K, that'll get a lot of so-called celebrity interest, right? I wonder how much of that celebrity interest would be retained if you were to say, hey, there's crypto and there are some crypto native apps that can help you maybe better engage with your audience and blockchains and fucking XYZ. I think you lose the percentage of people who give a shit down to single digits at that point. So I think he's being too charitable in assuming that they're like naive, or the information flow and the people getting, in between them and their followers and how they market crypto, that is fundamentally broken. I just think fundamentally the people that crypto attracts are washed up celebrities. These people are broke, they're operating in bad faith, and they're only as interested as the speed of the payday they can get from dumping on their followers. And if there's like a residual group of actual celebrities who get, just like fucking I did in 2017, who got interested in crypto because price was going up, maybe there's a good way there to integrate them, and maybe just don't make a coin immediately. But I think as soon as your first questions are how much money can I make, and can I make a coin immediately, because that's what everyone is doing, just fuck off. No good faith should be afforded to you, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, this isn't like some personal, I don't know, at least for me, it's not like a personal rag on Ansem type of thing. I think there's like a philosophical difference, I think, in terms of the necessity of celebrities, their intentions on average, and whether they're actually misinformed versus cash grabby. I think those are the major points of disagreement.
I also don't think these are really celebrities, to be fair. Like it's legit. Like you go down the list as far as you can. People are completely washed up.
Mate, we're getting some real garbage here, and that in itself should be telling, right? Like, we never get any real fucking celebrities, or we never hear about them. At least, why is it the real celebrities either just stay away, or you don't hear about their activities?
They have coins, dude.
Yeah, they have coins. They have money
because they don't need to fucking launch a coin because they have money. Like if they're actually interested in crypto, they're gonna fucking buy. Like that's the reason why you see these loser celebrities that you can tell like are very, very dumb. Like I mean, you cannot tell me like 90% of these coins that I've seen, and I haven't seen most of it, but 90% of whatever I've seen is just like people with 2-digit IQ.
I mean, they're not passing the woo capture, that's for sure. Like,
and then it's just like these people where you know that they're very bad with money, right? Like you can just tell that they just like they're terrible at money, and they're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna take this payday, right? Like someone is promising me money. I'm going to take this payday. And the people that are actually like people that have a little bit of a brain and are actually interested in crypto, one, you'd be a little bit dumb to talk about it, right? Just fucking buy it. And like, why the fuck would you broadcast this? It just makes you more of a target. I generally don't understand why people that have like their face out there would want to have themselves associated with anything crypto, right? It just is a threat to you. Because I mean, people can just go and take it from you. It's easier than with almost anything else. To just break into someone's house and be like, "Hey, you give me your crypto, I chop off your hand." Like you'd be dumb, right? So they don't. That's kind of my going thesis, right? I know for a fact that there's quite a bit of celebrities. They're actually celebrities that hold crypto, but they don't need to talk about it, and they don't need to launch a coin, right? Like you have to be some sort of desperate to do that, or some kind of dumb. I think you have to be either or. Like you actually have to be lacking funds, or you have to be really fucking dumb to do this. There is one third alternative, and it's just being a ginormous scumbag, not giving a fuck. And I don't think you want to be in any of those. So any of these celeb coins just seem completely and utterly dumb to me, because you're basically buying from a loser. Like whichever of the three it is, you're buying from someone that is just a loser.
I mean, even the word celebrity is a misnomer, right? These are, they're not sending their best.
No.
Fantastic. I don't think I've got anything else to add on that front, and people must be fucking clicking through desperately, waiting for the chart to come up in the YouTube preview. So we'll perhaps give them what they want. But hopefully this is at least somewhat nice to listen to. And yeah, I think just as a final note, the worst part is I think this has the opposite effect of what its advocates want it to be, which is to say that if you think this is an onboarding mechanism and your onboarding experience is that you buy a coin and it fucking disappears within an hour and you lose all of your money, you're probably not gonna. I mean, your risk-taking appetite for crypto and just overall, if that's your sort of formative experience, it's gonna be fucking terrible, and that's gonna offboard people or onboard them once, offboard them, never to be onboarded again. At least in 2017, when you're buying the top of a fucking bubble, there's at least some period where you make money, right? And you're like, oh, holy shit! Like, there's something going on here, or you can see the sector as a whole. If you had to like make a fucking Bittrex or Poloniex account and just altcoins are going up, and it's a bit more of an accurate immersive view. But then if you get put into this silo, we just go on like Pump Fun or load up your Phantom wallet, buy a thing, lose all your money. That's it. That's a crypto experience. That's not good for onboarding. I think it has the opposite effect.
Yeah, I agree. I think the reason why we don't have retail right now is because the last cycle was already quite bad with this, where people just get completely burned. And I think this is basically making it even worse. We have people are just buying memes and celeb coins. It's the only thing that they're buying. And that's going to end up in like total loss. Like all of those are going to go to near zero. There's going to be a few that stick around, and then people are going to tweet at me again, like they always do, and be like, like Don, you're just a fucking idiot. This 1 out of 10,000 coins that were made this cycle is actually 2x higher than it was when you said this, while ignoring all the rest. But we all know how this is going to end, right? Like your celeb coin, that's not going to be worth much in 2, 3, 4 years. The meme coins, the same kind of story. And yeah, people that bought these and that won't sell because for some reason, like, I mean, they thought they were going to get rich with it. And it's just like, oh, I'm down 50%. Let me just hold until I break even. And then they never break even. Or if they break even, they sell and then it actually goes higher, right? Like that's the way it goes usually. Like either you never go back to break even, or if you go back to break even, it goes higher. Anyway, so we have a bunch of people getting onboarded, but they're going to be off-boarded crypto forever. And that's not necessarily great. So I think this is a net negative. I think any kind of people that you get, like new people that you get into the market with these kind of schemes, is either people that you don't want, or just generally people that are going to lose so much money that they're going to, it just makes the space toxic, basically. And that's not a good thing.
It's not like we have anything to fucking show them if we've onboarded them anyway, right? Yeah. It's just like, look at the primary onboarding mechanism. It's pump fund token creation.
Yeah,
that's it. Like extreme legit, like, asymmetrical speculation is the thing we're onboarding people into. You know, there aren't really many dApps that a normal person would want to use, or apps that are so good but had used blockchain tech, but you'd never know because they're so much better than their centralized counterparts. Even the social token, whatever Meta, which would be very applicable to celebrities if we had the normal ones, all of those suck. So you're just onboarding into the meat grinder, and I'd rather be waterboarded. Personally,
I mean, it is quite sad, like legit, like even if you try to be the person that's kind of like saving people from whatever the fuck they're getting onboarded to, like where do you put them? As long as you don't shield them Bitcoin, I think you're gonna basically get them wrecked.
You got to shield them ETH BTC, Don, and talk about the ETF.
Yeah, I think like Bitcoin and ETH are the only ones that you can actually shield.
Oh, you're such a boomer. I've opened up TradingView, Don. Believe it or not, from time to time we actually talk about like trading and charts and setups and shit like that, as our audience may have forgotten over the last, I mean, how long has this been? Like half an hour of meandering, rambling about nothing. Just two men yelling at clouds, two old men yelling at clouds.
We need to put like a disclaimer this time from our end, being like, hey,
I'm gonna do that actually.
The show starts at this point. I think it's actually would actually be
that's so applicable. BTC timeframes, 2 weeks left until the monthly close. I'm gonna skip it because we've been fucking talking for so long and go to the weekly and the daily, unless you have strong views.
No, I mean, in monthly, like quite quick, it ran into that like 69K resistance, all-time high from 2021.
Yeah.
And it's been struggling with that. So that's the level that's kind of been struggling around, but there's not really that much there. It's just if that level goes, I think there's no resistance. I mean, I think there is just literally no resistance left. Otherwise, we're kind of like in this chop zone between like 60 and 69.
Yeah, agreed. I was using monthly highest and lowest close, so like 71 and 60, and then a mid-range from there.
I mean, it worked even better.
Yeah, I mean, that's the monthly, just kind of gone sideways for 3 months at all-time high, which is very strange. You know, in the past, even when we'd get all-time high gyrations, they'd be quite short, or at least shorter than this, if memory serves correctly. We've sort of gone through it in the past before shooting off, and this has been quite anomalous in that regard, which is kind of scary, right? Because if the bullish argument is that, shit slows down around all-time high, but it tends to be a quick dip, pretty quick, and then you get the trend-forming portion. Instead, we're spending fucking ages here. rather than like a quick resolution. And we've struggled for longer than we should have, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's never happened before, literally.
Yeah.
Like if you go on Bitstamp, well, I mean, there's obviously charts that are a little bit older, but I mean, I would disregard anything that was like anything that traded before like $10 or whatever. It's
Sure.
kind of useless. So if you kind of look at that on the monthly time frame,
Yeah.
there's literally never been a time where we kind of broke all-time high and then had more of like 1 month of sideways. It was like, it's quite typical that you break it and then have a red month, or like at least a wick. But
Yes.
this has never happened before.
Well, it happened in 2021, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you know how that ended.
Whatever. There's no fraud this time.
But also that didn't really stick around for this long either. Like
That's true.
It did close there. And then it had 1 month, and then the next month basically retraced the previous green candle.
That's true.
This time around, that has not happened yet. So
it's just a pennant, Don. I've just finished my first week of baby pips, and I can draw a nice fucking monthly triangle. And because it went up beforehand, it means it's going to break out and go up. Study TA.
I mean, if you look at the monthly, right, all shit talking aside, and I mean, I'm positioned very differently, but if you look at the monthly, it's still a bullish chart, right?
Well, it's above 58K. That's why, right? Essentially.
Yeah. I mean, it's generally, it's a very strong trend. You can look at I mean, just generally the timeline of this thing. It's very, very strong. It's always gone up. So like being too bearish is dangerous. But yeah, the lower time frames is where the troubles arise, but not even for Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is actually somewhat decent still.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the altcoins that have been completely wrecked, like on all fronts. People, and it's hilarious because, and this is gonna be me ranting a little bit.
Go on, please. I've taken up so much time.
Because like what you see on Twitter is like people post about all the altcoins, whatever. And then they're like, oh, you're like everyone that is bearish, whatever, is a fucking retard. Look at these altcoins, look at this, look at that. And then the altcoin markets go down, right? And Bitcoin doesn't really move that much. I would consider like 65K, like it's not even dipped yet, right? And then they're like, look at Bitcoins, didn't even move. You guys are losers, like being all like that bearish, whatever, completely ignoring that they were bull posting altcoins that are now down 50, 60, 70, 80%. And then I'm just kind of like, okay, if you've just perma bull tarted on the timeline, it's been 90% altcoins, and altcoins are down 50, 60, 70, 80%. Either, and then you say like, hey, you shouldn't be like worried or you shouldn't be complaining. Either you're just completely making up your positions, because I don't think anyone sits through like pullbacks of like 50, 60, 70, 80%. And it's like, hey, Bitcoin only pulled back 2%. I think that's bullshit, right? Like either you make up your positions, or you're just generally very dishonest, because you cannot really do that, right? I think if you're bull posting Bitcoin and Bitcoin pulls back 2, 3, 4%, there's no harm in that, right? But if you're bull posting altcoins and then you switch to Bitcoin when it's convenient, just to make you look better, I think that's a little bit of a loser move. Happened like the last few weeks all over the place. Like the big bulls on the timelines are all doing it. Basically have been chilling altcoins, and then when they go up, they're like, look at me, my entire portfolio is in altcoins, I'm making so much money. And then when the altcoins go down, they're kind of like, yeah, look at Bitcoin didn't pull back, so I'm still rich, whatever. I find that quite sad. And that's been the discourse, like that's been the level of discourse. Just people kind of profiling themselves as like being so great, but then shifting the goalposts on everything. And they get away with it. Like that's kind of like the way the Twitter game is played right now, where you get a lot of engagement for these kind of posts where you can never be wrong. Pisses me off a little bit.
It's actually very clever, right? You basically bull post altcoins, and then if you're wrong, you revert back to Bitcoin to soften the blow. That's quite clever.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start doing that.
Like legit, that's how you do it. Like I could write a book on how to look great on Twitter, and I think like legit, if you follow that advice, you could grift like 10 out of 10, because I've seen so much over the years, right?
Let me know when I can get a early edition.
No,
for the book in the description.
But like legit, like if we wrote a book about how to grift in crypto Twitter, how to grow your account and then make money off of it, I've seen every trick in the book, and and you too, and it's wild. Every cycle you see it, and every cycle people come up in like on the leaderboard of CT, as you like, so to speak, basically like gaining fame, and you can see this playbook be used. And most of the time, there's a few exceptions. Always, there's some very very good people on Twitter, but like the loud ones are usually just running a grift playbook, and I've seen it all.
I look forward to the full course. Just
It's the way. It's just the sellout way, because we've been sucking at selling out in other ways. Just run a Twitter book, and then make a private group out of it, and
why the fuck
everyone's
not?
just fucking
At this
grifts.
point, compared to everything else going on, that'd be a saintly choice. The weekly time frame. I spoke about this, so I got like some funny comments for this. I was speaking about that weekly cluster at 67 to 69, and then when I did Monday markets, I essentially said I skipped over the weekly. And the reason I did that was for A, time constraints, but also B, because the monthly range was more important to me, and then the daily range showed the monthly range really well based on levels. And then I got a comment being like, you spent so much time looking at the weekly cluster, and now that it's closed above, you're ignoring it. Why? And I want to say, because it's none of your fucking business. Like, this is what discretionary... But that's kind of the real answer, because like the most honest, candid truth about why didn't I mention the weekly is because I looked at it and thought, it's a bit of a shit close, whatever, fuck off, I don't care. And I think that's a completely normal thing to do in like discretionary fucking TA based trading, right? Like, I'm drawing lines on charts. This shit is entirely made up, or as close to fiction as it gets, or at least in terms of the amount of discretion that you can exercise. So it's completely normal for me to like have a level that I seem to care about, and then some time passes, or a candle close around it is shitty, or another time frame becomes more clear, having been less clear previously, and then for me to essentially sort of reprioritize what I'm using as a map for the market. So that comment I found quite funny. It was like, well, you ignored the weekly. Like, yeah, well, like the candle close is a bit shit, and the monthly and the daily were better. That's just the truth. A lot of the time, especially at this point with how automated the process is in my head, I'll just look at a chart and think, do I give a shit about this time frame? And then sometimes if I cared about it last week, the answer changes to next week. And I think that's normal, So I don't know if you have any strong weekly thoughts. I mean, we've got the weekly close. This is the last sort of non-weekend trading day. And I don't know if you had any levels around here or anything else. Me personally, I don't really give that much of a shit around the weekly. I might at 64 to 63 if it tries to make like a weekly lower high type of bullshit. That might be the spot for it, but I'm not super enthused at this time frame, and I think that the daily in general over the past week has served me better. What have you got for the big W?
I mean, I think there's a decent level that you can draw at current price. Like,
I see. Is that the highest close?
Yeah, the highest close,
Got it,
exactly.
okay.
I think that's basically like, we start, like, if this weekend goes poorly, right, and we close aggressively below that, I think that's a very bad sign. If we can hold it and the S&P pulls up next week, I could actually see it. Like, if the S&P puts in another sun run like we've had, and the Bitcoin kind of closes at this level, I could actually see it go decent. As in, I could see new highs even. But it is entirely reliant on the S&P going up, I think, at this point. Because one thing that's been pretty clear is that we've got relative weakness compared to both news flow, right? We've had really, really good news flow, and the S&P strength. So I think we're kind of like reliant on the S&P strength continuing. But yeah, there's a level there, and if it holds, and if the S&P, like if you're a giga S&P bull, I think, and you really want to have like crypto position, I think that's one level that you can play. Like, if we close at 65.5 this week, like in the next 2-3 days, whenever the weekend ends, then there's the possibility of that.
But you don't
Bitcoin
like it, do you?
I mean, I'm short. Like, I'm literally short the entire market and have been for a little bit.
Oh, dear.
Like, I've shorted memes. I've shorted Solana. I have a little Bitcoin short position, but nothing too grand, because I just think the altcoins looked so much worse. It's a little bit like of a late, like if people want to copy trade that now, I think it's a little bit late, given like most of these things already moved 20% down plus. But yeah, I'm personally positioned on the short side of things. but I don't necessarily want to handhold anyone.
Sure. Do you have any
So like,
targets or invalidations or entry stuff that might be
I mean,
useful to people to hear about?
I can talk through it.
Yeah, let's fucking talk through it.
I mean, Bitcoin's relatively uninteresting. That one, I'm just like, basically when I think it's gonna go down, I've been punting it, and it's actually been really fun. Like the whole, like, the big shout out to the meme bulls, because they pissed me off enough to actually fully load a margin account.
Oh dear.
Um, and I've been trading spot margin. It's shit, like, in comparison to perps, but it's been good enough, and I can do it in Germany. So I've been spot margin trading, uh, and on the short side, and it's actually been really really fun. So like, I haven't really properly shorted since forever. So that's been kind of nice change of pace. But yeah, Bitcoin, basically there's really no setup there. It's just me playing it by feel, and those positions are not the biggest anyway, because like I said, I think the altcoins are much worse. So let's go through Bitcoin. I do have a setup on the daily time frame, basically.
Sure.
Um,
I think the last
and
daily level you and I spoke about was some version of the mid range at 66-ish K. Basically the range low since the 20th of May. So for the last
yeah,
month or so.
so for me on the daily time frame, like, we have 65.4K ish support. That's like, if you it's on the left side more, like, it's the anchor point is on the left side of the range.
Right.
So basically,
65.4 you said.
yeah, 65.3 or 4. Yeah, it's
Okay.
basically, if you go to the 2nd of April, 3rd of April, like that low.
Oh, got it, okay.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like just dragged through. It's somewhat of the midpoint. I think this is the last support that is actually decent that we're trading right now. So if this fails, I think 60K is going to fail, and I think we're going to go significantly below 60K. So
Oh
any
my god,
bulls.
are you telling me we get to do another 60K FUD show if it goes
Oh yeah,
down?
I'll FUD 60K. I'll FUD the shit out of 60K again.
Eighth time lucky, as they say, Don.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I look at this and I think this is probably gonna go lower, but this is the last support. So
Okay.
I think if you're bullish, this is the only place where you can actually be bullish and have a chance,
But
right?
you're not
Like,
going
I
to
think.
manage here, presumably.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Basically, my setup. I mean, I was shorting into 70K, and yeah, basically just looking at that whole range high, and my setup is now a close above 68.
Okay.
Which is, like, if you go on the left side, the 4th and 5th of March, I have, like, that's kind of my range, like the highest close
Yeah.
cluster, and then you have the cluster on the left side. I'm sure you've already put it in, or if not, like the 29th of February cluster as support, the range high, the highest close as resistance. Then I have 65.3 and I have 68.3. And that's kind of my range. And I think if it goes above 68.3 again, there's a good chance that it just keeps on running. If it closes below 65.3, I think there's a good chance that we'll fully capitulate. And I think that'd be more disastrous for altcoins than it would be for Bitcoin. Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin can pull back to 50 or even 40K and still be incredibly bullish. These altcoins don't have that luxury, right? Like, most of the altcoins are hanging on by a thread. So that would be quite bad, I think.
Okay. So
Price
setup
action wise,
wise, I don't know. It was like some version of hey,
I
shit
shorted the
isn't
range
going up at the
high.
range high.
Yeah. I shorted the range high because it was just weak at
You
the
have the
range high.
entire fucking candle for that shit, don't you? Like 13th of March or whatever. Like, is it on the daily, or is it something else?
Yeah, exactly, on
Yeah,
the
I
daily
thought
time
so.
frame. So I was basically like, we ran into that. I didn't get the perfect entry, but close enough.
Right.
I was actually like shorting before a little bit, and then properly there, and basically managing wise. I think if it goes above 68K, I'm probably gonna get out. I generally think this is the worst place to short now. Like, if you're shorting 65.4, it's the only chance bulls have, and I think that's always dangerous because that makes you bottom short if you're wrong,
Sure.
which is not great. I think if this closes below that's a better short, even if it's slower.
Okay.
And
And
but
no hope for 60K, huh? Down there?
no, I don't have any, but
Okay.
maybe I could be wrong on that front
Sure.
again. Like, I mean, the range high has held infinite amounts of times, the range low has held infinite amount of time, but I wouldn't want to bet on that.
Right.
If I was bullish, if I didn't see all this kind of like grifting and all this bullshit and people just that have no idea about trading being so loud, this would be the level that I would buy.
So how much of
Like
a
if
part does that play then? Because it seems pretty important. If it
oh
transforms
yeah,
your
I would.
trade from I wouldn't short here versus fuck it, it's the only I'm still holding. Surely that
Yeah.
kind of sentiment, subjective perception of froth plays a pretty big part if it's enough to make you manage your trade differently. No.
Oh, I would have never shorted 70K in the first place, and I wouldn't never have taken any of the altcoin trades because, I mean, to be fair, like some of the altcoin trades look nice. I talked about one which is Solana, even on stream, and I know a couple of people copy traded it, and they should be quite happy now. But I would have never shorted that range high again because I generally don't short like third or fourth tests. But I was like, this space and the sentiment that is kind of that we have right now is gonna make it very likely that I'm gonna make money on this, and so I was like, okay, it does make it so that I'm much more comfortable in positions that I would otherwise not be so comfortable in. So I had a feeling that we would be heading lower, and then I was just like, I'm gonna act on the feeling based on the sentiment, and I would have otherwise not done that.
So pretty fucking important is the short.
Oh yeah. I mean, if the market really turns aggressively dumb, right? And I would say we are there. You have to really look out for signs of weakness, right? So basically, like if the market turns really, really dumb, and you're shorting it just because, there's a good chance you get blown the fuck out, right?
Sure.
Like it's just how it is. Like the market can stay dumb, and when it turns dumb, it usually blows up quite a bit, as in like to either direction, like goes completely crazy. But if you're like bullish and the market is really dumb, and then you see signs of weaknesses, that's really fucking bad. And I would say like all the bullish news that we had that didn't transform into anything is like a really good sign of basically that weakness. Like you have good news and the market is really, really dumb. Like people are really, really into like, oh, this is gonna go up, right? And people were arguing, like I said, in bad faith and like just kind of making it so that they have more confidence, right? You can tell like people are hyping each other up and trying to kind of like just be able to hold better. And if that happens with signs of weakness, that's a big, big no. Like you don't want to have a dumb market that is weak because that's going to get you fucked. And I think that's kind of where we were at 70K. And I think we're still there. But like I said, this is the last support, so it's a little bit dangerous on the shorting side of things. So
anatomy wise, that leaves us with range high 70K ish was the entry criterion. Now that we've closed below and even retested, 68.3 is the nearest invalidation / updated management criterion.
Yep.
65.4, 65.5 is technically the first trouble area, which in this case means it's not enough for you to close the position. It means that if you weren't in a position, you wouldn't sell it because it's the greatest proximity to invalidation for bulls if there is going to be a bounce.
Yep.
And then all the way down there's 61, 62K, which is technically another trouble area, but you don't think it's going to hold / will determine that when it gets there, if it gets there, right?
Yeah, I just straight up don't think it's going to hold.
Okay. And then fuck it then. If not 60, then what's after that? Is it? Are we going? 52?
Yeah, 52. Yeah,
that level. Every time we did our fucking Friday FUD show, that would be the next area that comes up.
But I want to be very, very clear because people always seem to kind of misunderstand what I'm saying. When I'm saying like, hey, this is the last level, that's a really, really good argument for bulls, right?
Sure.
Like the last level, it's a really good argument just because where else are you going to fucking buy it, right? But I still don't think it's going to hold, but I could be wrong. And this is, if there's going to be a time where I'm wrong, this is the most likely, is all I'm saying.
Okay, I think that's fairly clear on the BTC front. I'm sure people will understand and forgive the whole, oh, well, I entered because froth plus fuck it, wanted an entry kind of range high.
I mean, the
There's a
duck
lot
was
of
upside down. I mean, it's pretty
there's
obvious what
no
I'm
there's no
doing.
1 minute ICT fucking precision candle range theory fair value gap inversion entry
No,
pattern
I think
bullshit you're
that's
going to
also
teach us.
retarded. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. ETH. Do you have any ETH positions? And I
Yeah.
mean, what's your view on ETH in general? I
I'm.
argued on Monday markets, and you know I fucking sold whatever spot ETH I had, and I thought it was at a rough-ish price because it started bouncing shortly after in like the 3,500-ish area. But my argument at the time, well, in my head, it was basically that why the fuck is this taking so long
Yeah.
with the whole, with the ETF consolidation and at a good technical level. But then additionally, now that we're here, what the fuck does it mean for the ETF trade as a whole if we're kind of halfway through retracing the entire daily candle? So I don't have an ETH perp position at the moment. To me, it kind of the argument on Monday markets was essentially, look, you have a choice. If you really want entry and think the ETH ETF is strong and it can do any version of what BTC did, you can just like fucking buy some, at least spot based, so you don't have to like babysit it or do anything too crazy. And your invalidation would be daily closes below the range low, basically, of 3,600. Or you could wait once we actually get the ETF to see what the flows are going to be like, to see if ETH gets dumped on our heads. And it's basically the assumption that that big green candle was entirely crypto natives pivoting as the odds got rapidly repriced. And now it's the ETF waiting room to see whether there's any bite to the bark when it comes to the flows themselves. I basically opted to do the second version of that, and that's okay so far. It's a couple $100 either way. It's not like some fucking god trade or anything even worth talking about. But now that this is what it looks like, which is that we have a daily failed breakout / range breakdown on ETH, and ETH BTC is back to essentially doing ETH BTC stuff. What was your your entry here? What was the reasoning? Give us a similar fucking map as you did for BTC, if you don't mind.
I mean, so basically my positioning was when we got the whole ETH ETF announcement, whatever, that it's gonna be very likely, and then like you got the explosion up. And I've maintained this view for quite a while. I was like, I don't think the ETH ETF would be bullish for crypto prices. It would be bullish for ETH, but not for crypto prices, right? So I was like, any kind of bullishness that I have on ETH, I need to hedge with other things, right? So I basically traded Sol ETH. I traded like a bunch of ETH pairs, right? Yeah, I had to cut the bullish side of the trade. Like I was shorting Sol, longing, like not longing, but I mean buying ETH basically. And yeah, I was like, I think this is gonna lead to upside on ETH, just based on the fact how bullish this is. And I made a bunch. Like I got in early enough on that pump that I was up quite a bit on both sides actually. Like I made money on the ETH buys, and I made money on the Sol short, right? But then ETH started bleeding, so I just was like, okay, this is taking way too long. I don't like how it's playing out, so I just closed ETH and kept my Sol side of things, because like this just looks like shit. Now I don't really have an ETH position. It's the one altcoin that I don't want to be bearish on. There's a few obviously always but I'm the one that I'm looking at that I don't want to be bearish on, because I think the whole ETF side of things, that's a really good narrative, but also price action wise, this is horrendous, right? Like this is the worst thing that you could get. Really good news, and we got rejected by the first resistance, like the first series resistance on ETH BTC, and we got immediately rejected by ETH USD. Like we talked about 3K, 4K, that whole thing, and we got the most bullish news that we could have gotten, and all it did was take us to 4K. Now, on like the hopium side of things, if the Bitcoin, like if this market holds and doesn't break down 60K on Bitcoin, I could see, like if you go on ETH USD on the weekly time frame, the green cluster on the 22nd of April, I think that's decent support. That's between like 3.25 and 3.15. I don't know if you found it.
Yeah, that's like the beg for higher low type of cluster.
Exactly. So like that's the one where you have a decent argument. You're basically like, hey, people are way too bearish given we're getting an ETF. The Bitcoin flows were really good. Bitcoin went up a shitload because of the ETF, and I think that's undeniable true. Um, the counter argument, like you said, is the whole ETH thing, where people are afraid that now that the market has quieted down quite a bit, if it launches and there's not enough flows to kind of keep it up, you just get a bunch of people dumping ETH on your head. Not entirely sure how valid of an argument that is. But yeah, I think generally, like, I'm looking for ETH strength. I'm just not finding it. But the good thing is that it's actually outperformed most of the other altcoins. Just it's also gone down, right? The other altcoins just went down a lot more, which at least makes sense, right? I think if you're gonna rotate from one altcoin to another, I think it's always gonna be into ETH. Like anything else, I don't really see the point. So like you have an ETH narrative, and I think that could take off. But I think it's going to come at the expense of Bitcoin, because I think it's going to take Bitcoin bid away. And it's going to come at the expense of other altcoins. So I generally don't think the ETH ETF would be like a bullish event for crypto as a whole. More so like just ETH-centric, as in like ETH ecosystem does well, all that kind of stuff. I said this very publicly, and people were ridiculing me for it. And technically, this is a very bullish event, right? It's an altcoin that's getting an ETF, so you could argue, hey, other altcoins are going to get an ETF too. And if you go through the list, as things are down, like even like the solid stuff is down like 20, 30, 40%. And the dog shit is down like 80, 90, 99% since. So the market is clearly struggling. And I think one of the reasons is because people are repositioning into ETH. And the other reason for that is basically because we got a lot of froth. We got a lot of just general mania, and that's being digested right now. And the lack of ETH follow through just kind of shows the lack of willing buyers, and that spooks people out. And I think that's one other reason why the market has been behaving like it has, because there's been a very weird lack of appetite in the face of literally the best thing that could have happened for ETH, in my opinion. So that's bullish news that leads to bearish price action, which is basically worst combo you can have.
Is there a running position that you want to chat about at all?
On ETH, I don't have any. I'm trying. Like I'm really trying. I want to basically
just
hedge
use some market orders on our reflink. Like, do the needful.
Yeah. No, I'm really trying, because I want to hedge some of the altcoin shorts that I have, because I think ETH's gonna be a much better bet than those altcoins. So I can just basically like just take some profit that way. But so far I haven't found.
It's gonna be hard to get you at least before the weekly cluster, I imagine.
Yeah, and I mean ETH BTC right now for me is breaking down. Like it really needs to hold like 0.05.
It's like right here, basically. I mean, look at the fucking weekly.
Yeah, and the fucking trend line that I keep talking about.
Oh, come on!
It literally is the Pico top of this thing.
Well, I'm gonna draw it in such a way that it ends up being the Pico top. Just
I promise. I promise I have not moved it for like what feels like 10 years.
Bro, I don't know. The way I'm drawing it, it looks pretty dog shit. But
I mean, are you in log or non-log? Because you need to be in log.
I am in log, and it's very thick, dude. I'm using thickness 4 for this, and
no, you cannot. You cannot.
Are you using the candle bodies? Is that what it is?
So on the left side, on the 2nd of January.
Oh yeah, dude. Of course, if you use the candle, yeah.
It doesn't get better than this.
Yeah,
like legit.
By the way, that snapshot was just exactly how TA works. Like, if you don't like a conclusion that the first fucking drawing offers to you, just redraw it until you get what you want.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I haven't redrawn this, so
yes,
I'll claim that this is the right one.
Oh,
it's been really fucking accurate. It's actually hilarious how accurate it's been on recent price action too. Like if you look on the 8th of January, perfect retest, and it went up, and then 12th of February, perfect retest went up. When it broke, it broke aggressively to the downside, and then when it rallied, it exactly got stuffed by that. And yeah, I mean, that is not great. And it really needs to go above 0.057 to be even just straight up bullish, right? This is still a very bearish chart. But obviously with the narrative and with everything, you want to be bullish to swing.
Oh wow, 057 cooked, huh? That's a
Yeah. We kept talking about that level too. It's been really good.
Yeah, it only got chopped up the first 2 times, but
Yeah.
third test, best test.
Yeah, but back then we were actually talking about like that cluster.
I remember that.
On the September.
But even that is a good example of the bullshit discretion I was talking about. You have a level that you fixate on, and then you kind of eyeball it and think, fuck this, I'm going to pick something else. I think that's something you earn with enough intuition. Other times it ends up making you just flip-flop your levels. But from time to time, you kind of have to reprioritize. Yeah, and I've got a weekly level for ETH BTC like here, but honestly, I spend close to 0 time looking at this thing. So
I mean, like I said, I really want to be bullish, but I haven't found anything. I will, like, when I'm less bearish on the altcoins, I will. I mean, I'm really fucking bearish on like a lot of things relative to ETH. If the market should turn around, like I think that that's just a really dumb bet. Like I don't really understand why you want to hold Solana over ETH into an ETH ETF. Like that seems really, really like just silly to me. And I was saying the same thing. Like this is not just me hating on Solana because people always fucking comment on this, but I said the exact same thing with Bitcoin and ETH. Do you remember like how I like shit talked ETH the entire fucking time?
Of course.
Were, like, fucking buy ETH because Bitcoin gets an ETF and then ETH's gonna be next and it's gonna go up more. Well, look at this fucking thing. Looks fucking ridiculous. We got Bitcoin ETF and Bitcoin prices went up, right? And if we get an ETH ETF, I don't think that's going to be good for other altcoins. That's going to take liquidity, if anything, away from them. Because I mean, why the fuck would you not play ETH? And I mean, I could be wrong on this, like whatever. It's the same line of reasoning that like kind of saved me from not making any money during this bull run by buying ETH, right?
Isn't that a shocking thought? Like there's a really large number of market participants who've just basically not made any money this cycle so far because dispersion has been so large and the windows of outperformance and the biggest days have been so like BTC focused. And if you basically missed BTC, Sol, meme coins, at least in relative terms, you're fucked. And certainly some of the altcoins, like the boomer ones, older ones, last cycle's washouts, you're really having a tough time with those. That's been kind of thematically the case of the market. But no, reasoning wise, I agree. And in general, I think, you kind of coined to some extent, at least on this show, but you were pretty early to that narrative in general, that ETH would be the mid-curve trade. And that's quite funny because you get seen as like an altcoin, well, specifically Solana kind of hater. But the entire premise of the sort of mid-curve ETH thesis was the people are going to buy BTC for the ETF, correct, or people are going to go buy Solana and Solana shitters to speculate, correct. Therefore, ETH is the most dogshit option, correct. But yeah, that's not going to buy you any favors if you sell altcoins.
History is getting rewritten as we speak.
That's true. That's true.
It's what it is.
I mean, my parents were born in the Soviet Union, so I'm very familiar with how that process works. Do you want to talk about some of the? I mean, are you short Sol at the moment as well, or is it just meme coins?
Okay. Yes, I'm short Sol, and I actually talked about this setup because it looks exactly like the prior all-time high before it basically went to zero. I don't think it's gonna go to zero like it did last time, but it's pretty much the exact same setup. And I actually talked about this on a stream. I know that one of the viewers took it. He took it a little bit early, but it's basically entry. Like, so I have the cluster, and you have to go to the left, like to the all-time high, prior all-time high, the 13th and 20th December of 2021 on the weekly chart. There's a cluster there, like 2 green weeks after the all-time high, where we stopped basically going up. And the resistance is 200. The first resistance is 200. The next one is 180, right?
Sure.
And I didn't like shorting 200. I thought that was, I mean, it's just a little bit risky because this thing could have just made new highs. But when it went down, right, when it broke down, and I do have a support at 135, which I think is quite clean.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
fucking
it's like
wrote about that in 2022, for goodness sake. Like,
yeah, like that really worked in back then, right? In the
yeah.
bear market,
I
as
think I made
resistance.
$0 selling that. So.
I didn't short Sol either. As the biggest Sol hater, apparently, because that's what I am, right? I didn't short it either. But anyway, we bounced from that support and we ran into like 175 resistance, 170 whatever, 172, 3, whatever, like roughly that. And if you look to the left, you basically like on the prior all-time high, you had that spike up and then you broke down, you had a little bit of a bounce and you made the lower high and then it just kind of disappeared and kept on going lower, right? And you can make the same argument that, and I made this argument on the stream, like I think it's a month ago now or something, basically when we were closing at 170 on that green weekly candle. I made, like I talked about this short setup. I was like, just like a short here at 170, stop loss above the high, like at 200, 210, and basically a target below 100. And because if this is a like temporary top or maybe even like just generally the top, that's how it would look like, right? You get a lower high here and then you nuke, and then I think at 100 there's a good chance that it bounces towards like 120 to 130. So you don't want to just hold this thing forever on the short side of things, but I think like 100 to 90 is likely if we break 135. And we've tested that before. We're kind of testing it again now or getting close to it. It is support. And this is why I'm like, maybe you're a little bit late, because the good resistance to short was 170. And now it's kind of reaching support levels where it could bounce from. But that's kind of the setup. Basically, I had an all-time high stop loss entry of like 170. I opened and closed that position a couple times. So like my current trade has like an entry of like 161 or something. I showed it on the lower time frames. I can talk about that in a bit. I showed it in an up spike 2 days ago or something. I don't remember. 1 or 2 days ago, towards like where it spiked. Anyway, we'll talk about that on the lower time frames. But that's kind of the setup. Like I'm thinking that 135 is gonna break. I think the only way that does happen is if Bitcoin breaks the current support. So that's why I'm saying like the shorting, like if you're shorting here, you kind of like shorting into a bunch of supports, right? You have Solana at support, you have Bitcoin at support, ETH is reaching support. So like if you're starting new shorts here, that's quite dangerous. It's just if you're right on your older shorts, I think you're gonna print big time. So you're basically in the situation where it's really shitty to enter a new trade. You might be rewarded for it instantly and make a bunch of money like in no time at all, but you also might just bottom short, right? So I think the reward is great, which makes it worth holding good entries, but I'm not entirely sure if the reward is great enough to short into the only support levels that we have left.
Sure. Yeah, it's already kind of reached a local trouble area. And, if
Yeah.
that trouble area causes more trouble, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Is it also fair to say, just sort of observationally, that at least if you're swing trading, like you, Don, like on the weekly time frame,
Yeah.
monthly, daily, whatever, it seems that in order for the setup to be worthwhile, you almost need to assume that the nearest even high time frame support level is going to break, because otherwise you get like less than 1R, and there's nothing wrong with that per se, but it kind of gets tricky if you
This
if you
one
go
would have
through like a
gotten
losing
more.
streak.
This would have gotten more than
From
1R.
170, I mean, yeah. Well, look, actually, if you go to let's say you sell the cluster bottom, right, at 170, and you set a stop above 200, right, and then if the target's 135, that's exactly 1R.
Yeah, but the cluster bottom is 174, I think, and then it's a little bit better. But yeah, basically, I mean, you could. The thing is, right? You can take these trades and you can take them to support, and I think they're still decent trades, even if it's 1-to-1.
Sure, I agree. 1R trades are underrated.
Like people are just kind of like always forgetting just the odds of it playing out. basically. That's the more important part, right? Like you can take a 1 hour trade if the odds of playing out are 80%. Now, obviously, it's really hard to judge whether like the odds of this thing. That's why people focus on the number.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this has 10 RR, so it's a good trade. But I think that's a little bit a wrong way
Dude,
to
I think
look
there's
at it.
more arbitrariness in people choosing their fucking RRs than there is in eyeballing probability. You know?
Yes. And
I think
people
in
always
general,
focus
you
on the
should be.
wrong one.
Yeah, I 100% agree. If you have to choose between finding some sort of way to gauge probability versus your arbitrary fucking RR, I think the first one is more important. And also, it's just to do with like Twitter LARP culture, where you want to see like the super precise entry, super tight stop, massive target, because like continually booking on 1 to 1.5 hour trades kind of looks boring. But of course, the basic equation there is it's all to do with like the expected value or the expectancy of the setup, right?
Yeah.
Like you can have a greater risk to reward, lower probability, and you need the risk reward to make up for it. Or you can have a lower risk to reward but a much higher probability, and then your sizing makes up for it to reflect that higher probability. So it's not like one is inherently better than the other. They're pretty different. I think in general people trade better if they reined in their risk rewards a little bit, and there's nothing I hate more than these arbitrary, oh, make sure the setup is at least 2 to 1. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, what if I've got a really good setup which is 1.5? Do I just skip it so I can take a shitty lower probability setup that manages to meet an arbitrary like 2 to 1 or 1 to 2, whatever the fuck? It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, but I'm guessing if the lower high fractal plays out, then necessarily 135 breaks, correct?
Yeah. And then I think the nearest support is 110, 113. I think that would get wicked. And I think there's a chance it would wick to below 100. If 135 breaks, that's just such a massive level.
Yeah.
But I think from that point onwards, I mean, it will probably bounce quite a bit.
What about the 120 monthly cluster high, Don?
Yeah, it's not bad. I think given we have tested it before, it's a little bit of a...
Well, the other side of it is actually exactly at 100. Well, it's like 99.
Yeah, 90,
50
90 98, 97, 99. That's why like that I like the other side of it, basically.
Okay,
that's
fine,
untested.
fair.
But yeah, it is support, and honestly, and just generally speaking, like if the sentiment and if the shit that was going on in this space wasn't so outrageously dumb, I would probably close a lot of these positions. I've already made quite a bit of money on these, but I think given how stupid everything is, there's a good chance that people get wiped out, and that just makes the trade more attractive. I think wicks can be quite deep in these kind of circumstances. Trading conditions can be quite good, and therefore I'm willing to basically give back a lot on these shorts to capture that. And there is one thing that Twitter helps me with, especially if I post, like having the conviction to hold for a little bit longer, even when the market looks like for example, when it was testing 70K again, like I said earlier, I think most people thought that was going to break out. I might have as well if I didn't have that added confidence of just stupidity everywhere. So yeah, it helps a little bit,
Right.
for me at least anyway. I think there's a lot of pieces to trading and sentiment, especially in the market, like crypto, where basically nothing has any value. I mean, it's just we're trading memes, we're trading celeb coins, we're trading like Bitcoin is the one where you could argue that there's something there, but even there, like how the fuck do you value it? Like just straight up, like how do you value it?
It's the miners break even, bro.
Yeah. See how that works
Stock
out during
to flow.
the cycles.
I can do this all day.
Yeah, but it just doesn't really work, right?
Sure, no, completely.
And that is why I think like sentiment and all this kind of stuff works so well, because basically people, like, it goes up and people are like, there's no way to value this because it's invaluable. This shit is going to go to infinity. And if it goes down, people are like, fuck this. There's no way to value this. This shit is all a fraud. It's going to go to zero.
Yeah.
And that makes for the best trading conditions ever, but also makes for like big swings and like people making fortunes and losing them again. All
Which
that
is
kind of
still
stuff.
best trading conditions ever.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot hate on it.
No.
But yeah, basically, like on Solana, on my Solana trade, I shorted 170 something. It went down. I closed it, and it bounced 2 days ago, like on that wick, and I actually got the Pico top of the wick. And
Like, what's the entry criteria on there? Again, not to like nail you down too much, but I'm sure people struggle with entries, for example.
It was basically like, I was like, I closed it because I could, like, I could feel a squeeze coming, and I was like,
okay.
I don't really mind. Like, it was at support, right? Like ish, in that cluster on the 14th of May cluster.
Yeah.
It hit that, and I was like, I could kind of tell that there was gonna be a squeeze. And then it started squeezing, and it squeezed into that previous daily cluster on the 9th of June.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, this is perfect. Like, this is where, like, if you want to take, like, I closed it, and I actually regretted it, because I was like, I think this can go so much lower. I think it's just dumb to close it. And then it chopped around a while, and it gave me a re-entry, and I was actually quite happy with taking it. So I just took it at 161.
Sure. Are there any management levels that you have now? Is it that same 161-ish?
And now it's basically like 157 to close above there, and I think I'm gonna be out of that trade, because I think, like, if you look on the daily time frame, that was the neckline of whatever the fuck this consolidation was.
Hunchback looking thing is.
Yeah, and I think if it goes back above there, there's a good chance that it runs. But I'm not entirely sure, like, how I'm gonna manage this one, because I think I might even keep it if it acts bullishly, and just hedge it with ETH, because I think ETH is gonna outperform that.
So roadmap wise, entry on, well, the larger swing idea originates from weekly fractal plus weekly resistance. The specific entry was daily, basically a bearish retest of 160 on like a fast move. The management level is 157, which is just the bottom side of that same 160 cluster. First trouble area is 135, which is the mega weekly level. You don't think it's going to hold, but it's still obviously on your radar. If it doesn't hold, the swing continues, and, you know, the other side of the monthly cluster, round number 100, is a pretty fucking massive move at that point.
Yeah. Like, that'd be quite massive.
Oh, Cred GPT is so good at this shit. I swear to God, man.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes, really. But the cool thing about the Solana positions, like I said, that I'm quite confident that ETH's going to outperform it.
So there are different ways to take profit on that, essentially.
Yes,
and to
like, I'm quite excited for the market to turn around so I can buy ETH, basically, and keep this position running.
So turn it into like a pair trade, for example.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the original idea. Like, I traded the Sol ETH pair, made money on both sides, and then ETH just started bleeding, and I was giving back money on the ETH side. I was gaining on the Sol side, but I was like, ETH's just actually starting to look shit, so I closed that and just kept the Solana.
You went down to neutral and just took away the neutral.
Exactly. I was like, this is shit. Like, this is not how it's supposed to act.
Sure.
And I want to get back into that delta neutral position-ish. But right now, I don't really see a good reason to do so.
Makes sense.
The market trading the way it does. But honestly, like, I mean, there is a good reason. Like I said, it's the last line of defense on Bitcoin. So.
Yeah, like, overall, the theme is we're getting an update on a trade that's reached a local extremity, so it's by definition the worst place to copy trade it if you're
which fucking sucks, because I mean, obviously people are like,
well, sorry, it's Friday, you know, we didn't it just so happened to play out that way. You tweeted about Pepe. No, fuck it, no, whiff, right?
Yeah, whiff.
Do you have whiff positions? The last one I asked you about. I know it's getting fucking late there, and
I had the same thing with whiff and Pepe on that I had with ETH and Sol. So it was basically like, I was betting on whiff underperforming Pepe, because I was like, whiff is, one, the worst meme, two, it's on Solana, and I think Solana is just gonna shit the bed in comparison to ETH. So I basically took the same trade that I took on ETH with Sol, with whiff and Pepe, and I did make money on that as well. And then I had pretty much the same thing, where it's like, Pepe is too weak, like, it should be stronger. Got out of that side. And the whiff side of things, I actually closed today. It reached the range low at 2.2. Sure. I still think it's probably going to go lower, but I'm more than happy with the Solana position that I have. Like, I basically just focus on that. But
I spot margin, like, fuck trading decent sized altcoins on spot margin.
Yes, I have, like, the memes. I actually have some of them. I traded on perps because I couldn't otherwise. But these are not like the biggest positions because you cannot trade them. You cannot trade them on spot basically properly. Like doesn't really work. In bigger size, but it was still a nice trade. Quite happy with it. I could have made more if I didn't take the Pepe long, but on a relative basis, still played out. And like I said, I closed that and took a good chunk of the last whiff move.
Nice.
I closed it. People are fucking like the whiff holders are really fucking angry at me. But that's just kind of like I look at this thing. I actually think it's gonna go lower than where it is right now. But this is a nice way to take some profit at least, and it's been a really big move. So yeah,
it's quite a funny progression of trades, right? You start off as a humble pair trader, then you're like, "Yo, fuck this! I need some deltas. Get me out of these shitty hedges." And you just end up being short as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, generally, this is something that I want to keep doing. Basically, like get long ETH things, short SOL things.
Okay.
I think that's the most brain dead play that you can do. That is more than likely gonna make you money. Because I think if Bitcoin goes down, you're gonna lose so much money on SOL things. If Bitcoin goes up, I think there's a good chance that SOL and ETH kind of perform relatively similar. If not, ETH outperforms. So you're kind of in the situation where you're more likely to make money than not. And even if you're like wrong on your positioning, there's a good chance that you're not going to lose anything, which is quite nice, right? Like and I mean, that's obviously like, that's my thinking. Doesn't have to play out this way. But if your thinking is like, hey, on this side of the trade, like if I'm wrong, I'm going to go out basically break even. And if I'm right, I'm going to make money and quite a bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite nice, I think. And that's kind of like the trades that I like to look for. But obviously can also be wrong. And then Solana outperforms ETH a little bit if everything goes up. But I think it's very unlikely to do so in a big way. So you're basically quite safe. And I think like just memes on ETH and everything on ETH seems like a better bet. But
do you think you're early to that trade? Like, is the Sol ETH trade? I mean,
I think it's very, very early. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's still kind of range. It hasn't like broken down yet. Hasn't done shit. So you know, we mentioned that a lot of the altcoin stuff and BTC stuff have reached local extremes. If we think more thematically and structurally and more zoomed out over like weeks, do you think Sol ETH has a lot more space to go? If you're right, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, you just look at Sol ETH, like there's a lot of room there.
It's just like the highs, basically. It hasn't done anything higher time frame yet.
So. Yeah, I mean, it went down like 25%.
Yeah, still in the same consolidation.
But still in the same consolidation and still in the same area. And yeah, I think that's a decent pair to look at if you're trying to not take too much directional risk. Yeah. Just take basically logical risk, basically being like, hey, we're getting an ETH ETF. We have seen this exact movie play out with Bitcoin and ETH. Now it's ETH and Sol, and it's quite predictable, I think.
Fantastic. Don, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Any final comments, questions, concerns, complaints?
Not really. No, I mean
we did a lot of complaining anyway. So
yeah, we've been ranting. No, I mean it's been good trading conditions.
Nice.
The market's kind of moved a little bit. All directions. Bitcoin's been a little bit flat, but the altcoins have moved quite substantially. Yeah, I just generally think like this is one of the worst times to make the show because we are at these support levels that are quite important. But I think still like worth talking about, worth kind of discussing what goes through my head, what goes through your head while we're trading, and just kind of like shooting the shit. So I think we've done that.
We've done that. Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure. I'm sure the audience will appreciate me prying from you the specific trade entry criteria, etc., to the extent that I could. I mean, I personally found it quite enjoyable. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, the more surgical, precise trading, entry, updating, validation, management, etc., I mean, leave us a comment. If you enjoy the show generally, leave us a comment. We do read all of them and appreciate everyone who engaged with the show. Thank you to Woo for supporting the show. The links to them are available in the description below. Leave a like on the video before you leave. Subscribe. We'd appreciate that, especially if you tune in somewhat regularly. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you for Monday Markets next week.
Bye bye.